in order to understand, oh, Yashua, Mackenzie, Eve, but in order for us to understand the health and nutrition and needs in Haiti, we had to literally and figuratively cross many rivers of myths and stories we've been told. For instance, that you picture Haiti healthcare, that there couldn't possibly in rural Haiti be a hospital that's affordable to the average person and cleanly, but that's not the case at all. We make our own stories for things, and from this image you could look and draw your own conclusions as to what's going on. Maybe the park was built for tons of kids to play because they had nothing else to do. The church, you don't really know how often it's used. You don't know anything about the voodoo culture, for instance, that's in the background of it all. But I wanted to stress the importance of knowing the stories of the people that make a place in order to better develop connections to a place. And this was the place that we work. The hospital, ASB, there were many people that surrounded this operation that made it function, and they had the most intricate and unique stories, and they were all brought together for the purpose of helping the community and growing in a way that was sustainable, as was mentioned earlier. So I'm going to get into some of the stories of the people that we got to know really well while we were there, to put a face on some of the names and just the place. And people want to help something that they know more about. This was our main man, Martin. We spent 24/7 with this guy. He would ride with us wherever we went. He was pretty much our security, our guardian angel, and he'd be ready to go wherever we went. We'd hike, and we'd be scrambling, getting our backpacks together, making sure we had enough water, Band-Aids, Neosporin, everything. Meanwhile, he'd be chilling with his t-shirt, just waiting. You ready? So he was a great guy. This was Sergo, a man of much swagger, one of our drivers. So the two of them, along with another driver, I never got the chance to photograph because he was always everywhere. They were highly involved in making sure the supply and demand at the hospital was met. They'd go on supply runs back and forth between the city and Bourne itself, which was 2.5 hours through some of the rockiest roads ever. They made sure the hospital functioned, basically, and they took care of us and any visitors. These four became some of my best friends and were very important to, obviously, making sure the whole place was safe, patients and visitors. Susut, the first night, I was playing guitar, just because I wanted to play guitar, and he just came up and started singing in Creole to my guitar, and it was wonderful. Francoeur used to live in Florida, and he worked day in, day out, and any money that he made, he lived in, I think, a one-bedroom with 4 other people. He'd send back to Haiti so his family could build a home and have their own land and everything. Charlie became one of my best friends, giving Creole lessons every night, and Patrick taught me how to dance. These 3 taught me probably the most. The cooks, Nanoun, Monez, and Zamour, they were incredible. They were very independent. They'd be carrying food on their heads and in their hands, and I'd always ask if they wanted help. And they're like, "We don't need no man, we're fine." It was funny. But I realized that the U.S., we have 31% of our food produced get thrown away, and that kind of blew me away because while we were there, 100% of the food that was made got eaten. If we didn't eat it, it'd be given to someone else for a meal that needed it a lot more than we did. These were the cleaners. Toussaint was the groundskeeper that oversaw Sharon Fontalina, Veronique, Noel Alina, and they made sure the hospital was fully functional. Benjamin Lysion was in charge of everything having to do with running water, which is a very vital necessity. Everyone appreciates getting to have a shower, go to the bathroom somewhere clean. And Luxon was part of the administrative staff. Ian mentioned earlier, a very vital part in the web, but also there were others that he had taught and trained on accounting coordination. So all the funds that came in from fundraising, from Hope, from UN, any organizations involved in the whole thing. He made sure it went smoothly. These are some of the doctors that Mackenzie and I got to spend a couple hours with, talking, observing, asking them any questions. Each of them and all the other doctors knew at least 3 languages, Creole, French. They each knew Spanish and English as well. They're all very multi-talented. And this was the man that brought them all together. This was Tony, the doctor that, he was inspirational. Basically, he was a poet in everything he said. The way he described life was just beautiful. He started the hospital because he came in and he was the only doctor for over 80,000 people. And they'd come and see him day in and day out. And since he started many years ago, it's only grown and took root, and they've got multiple doctors doing residencies, multiple people wanting to be a part of this whole community and everything. Okay, so now you get a different perspective knowing the stories behind the community and everything in general. Okay, sorry.
Okay, so Mackenzie, you just heard so much about the beautiful culture and people of Haiti. Mackenzie and I kind of bring it back to the more publicized stories about malnutrition or any diseases that happen there. So the number, I'm about to show you some statistics, and they're a little hard to comprehend after hearing all this beautiful stuff about a beautiful country. So I'm going to talk about food a lot, and the food was delicious and absolutely amazing and a wonderful part of their culture. So according to the World Health Organization, 21.9% of children under the age of 5 experience developmental stunting, 11.6 are underweight, and 5.2 are wasting away from malnutrition. Anemia, which is a disease caused by an iron deficiency, can be seen in 60.6% of the same population. And in 2001, more than half of the population of Haiti were surviving on less than $1 American per day. Today, the poverty line is at $1.25, and so this just kind of gives you an idea of how many are really living in these conditions. Some of the staple food items I saw that are key in like the Haitian diet include starchy fruits and vegetables like plantains, as pictured, and African yams, among others. According to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 75% of the caloric breakdown comes from carbs. 17% comes from fats, mainly gained from the use of butter, oil, and cheese in cooking. And the remaining 8% comes from protein. There isn't much variation in the meals from day to day because women will cook what's affordable and what they know well, and because there's a lack of refrigeration, basically what their families will eat. And this lack of diversity can perpetuate the nutritional deficiency seen. Ultra-processed and imported cookies, chips, and crackers are an extremely popular snack among the streets with the kids and everyone alike. And these snacks are high in sugars and fats and lack important vitamins and minerals which can be linked to stroke and heart disease. No, not the minerals, but the high fat content. So, more than 2 million people are food insecure. This means that over 2 million Haitians don't know when their next meal might be or where that meal is coming from. Food is expensive, and rural households can spend around 60% of their total income on food, according to the National Food Program. Open markets are common in towns and cities, and at one such market in Tibouk, we saw produce such as the tomatoes and the onions and stuff pictured. And again, a plethora of the imported snacks that I mentioned prior, as well as unprocessed sea salt and meat from every part of a goat, cow, chicken, and horse you can imagine. I'd like to make note that, while there is the produce and there's a lot of food available, this food is very expensive. Meat especially is not a daily occurrence. And also, the vegetables and stuff are laying out in the sun all day long, and so there's a natural degradation of nutritional value there. The sea salt is an important part of the Haitian diet because, one, it helps prevent water loss through perspiration, but also because it is used so much, also add to high blood pressure that can be seen in the population, which we can also talk about. So, some cooking techniques. Through my observations, I saw that a lot of the food was fried in vegetable oils, or butter was used, and these are high in saturated fats, which again, like I said, can add to later risk for cardiovascular disease. That is a picture of some fish that is fried, and you can see that all over the streets. It's common for them to buy. And so, on the basis of the Maggi and bouillon and épices is a key ingredient to a lot of Haitian dishes. Like, this is basically the heart and soul of the taste of Haiti. And so that is it's like a pasty sauce kind of thing made with herbs, garlic, onions, peppers, salt. And so that is very versatile, and again, that is high in salt, so like I was talking about before. Again, the food was absolutely amazing.
Oh, so good. Some of the best we've had. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about the just direct health related concerns in Haiti. And as Rachel talked about before, we had the opportunity to go on a mobile clinic, which was a great experience. Doctors, nurses, and staff, like she said, like cross rivers, hiking through the jungle, sometimes up to like 6 to 8 hours away at times, to reach as many patients as possible, because a lot of people aren't able to get to the hospital anymore. They carry all their supplies with them. This occurs weekly, which is a great thing, and there's mobile pharmacy.